Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Founders Day. It feels like a very long time since we've been outside together like this, so let's first just have a round of applause for being able to do this. Because we're such a large group today, we would appreciate you remaining masked throughout the program, even when it's the audience's time to sing. Our speakers and our singers up front will be taking their masks off so that you can hear them more clearly. We have had an absolutely beautiful week of celebrations, starting with last Friday's Spirit Day. We had our first Board of Trustees meeting earlier this week, a donor celebration, an alumni book talk. We've had 3 house reveals, amazing sports, complete with the win of the coveted Field Hockey Cup. We can stop and cheer. And now another gorgeous day to celebrate the founding of Bryn Mawr. I'm delighted to be sharing this annual tradition with all of you in our most special place, the Graduation Garden. This Founders Day marks Bryn Mawr's 137th birthday. And we're here to celebrate our school, our history, and our founders' bold vision for educating girls. Of course, we will honor the truly exceptional faculty and staff who live and carry out this mission in our day and time. I want to warmly welcome some special people we have with us for today. Chair of the Bryn Mawr School Board of Trustees, Monica Tucker, and several members of the board today are back in the crowd. Yes, we can give them a round of applause. They work hard to keep the school going. Today's guest speakers, Dr. Betty Kilby Fisher-Baldwin and Ms. Phoebe Kilby, graduate of the 1970 class of the Bryn Mawr School. Let's give them a round of applause in advance. We have members of the class of 1970 with us today to support their classmate, Phoebe Kilby. And of course, I also, and some of those members are also watching online, we're live streaming today, but I also want to welcome you, our students and faculty, because you are the most important part of the Bryn Mawr story. So we're going to begin today with our school prayer, and then 5th grader Evelyn Puckett will sing Come Let Us Gather, and Maggie McNear in the upper school will lead us in Joyous the Love. So at that time, let's rise for those 3 songs, or 3 things. Watch over our school, O Lord, as its years increase, and bless and guide its children wherever they may be, keeping them ever unspotted from the world. Let their hearts be pure, their faith unshaken, their principles immovable. Be thou by their side if dark hours shall come upon them. Strengthen them when they stand. Comfort and help them when they are weak-hearted. Raise them up if they fall. Let thy light never grow dim to their eyes, but through the struggle and business of their everyday lives, let its radiance lead them heavenward. And in their hearts may thy peace, which passeth understanding, abide all the days of their lives. Evelyn, come forward. And Maggie.
Of thy
seated. Bryn Mawr's founding 137 years ago was unique in that it was founded for women by women and marked the beginning of women's college preparatory education in Baltimore. As young women of their day and time, our 5 founders wished for the same kind of rigorous education that was available to their brothers. Despite the fact that this vision was considered implausible by many, our founders believed that girls and young women deserved the same opportunity to foster their passion for learning and to reach their full potential in a rigorous academic environment. Our founders' beliefs formed the basis of our mission today, to give girls extraordinary preparation for considered and consequential lives. We also recognize and acknowledge that our founders' vision was limited by the views and beliefs that we reject today. They sought to establish a school for girls of a certain social standing similar to their own. Today, we honor their vision for girls' education and independence and include all women in that vision. On this day each year, I like to remind our community that a founding is only a beginning. And like people, institutions have the power to grow and learn. While our founders' initial vision was limited to girls who were very much like themselves, the fact is what they began has enabled us to expand their mission, make it better and indeed more inclusive in our day. Bryn Mawr has continued to experience change through its 137 years. And we know for certain that it will continue to evolve. Each of us is a part of that momentum and growth. Each day, we shape the direction and culture of the school by our beliefs and actions. I believe it was Dr. Riley who first expressed that each of us, in a way, is a founder. Today, we carry forth the best of the founder's mission and spirit and ensure that Bryn Mawr serves the ambitions and potential of all in our day and time. On Founders Day, along with acknowledging our history, we celebrate the people who continue to make the school outstanding. Today, we recognize the excellence of our faculty and staff. I would like to express my deep gratitude to and respect for all of our Bryn Mawr adults who day in and day out, even in the most extraordinary times, strive to help you become your best selves. I know that they're invested in your success, and they are relentless in challenging you to stretch, to think, to grow, and to believe in yourselves. I thank them for their commitment to you and to our mission. Faculty and staff, please stand up and be recognized. Thank you very much. We are honored to have 2 women with us who embody the spirit of Founders Day in the way that they acknowledge their own authentic histories, learn from the past, and work together towards peace and justice. Dr. Betty Kilby Fisher Baldwin grew up in rural Virginia, and thanks to her father's determination, she entered and graduated from Warren County High School after suing the school board based on the landmark Supreme Court Brown versus Board of Education decision of 1954. Betty started her employment as a factory worker and climbed the corporate ladder to achieve executive management employment. After she retired, she wrote and published her autobiography, Wit, Will, and Walls. She and her husband are based in Texas, but spend most of their time traveling the U.S. in their RV. Phoebe Kilby grew up here in Baltimore and graduated from Bryn Mawr in 1970. She had a long career as an urban and environmental planner. With concerns about the morality and wisdom of war, Phoebe went back to school in 2003 to obtain a degree in conflict transformation from the Center for Justice and Peace Building at Eastern Mennonite University. A descendant of enslavers, Phoebe was inspired by the Coming to the Table movement to connect with descendants of persons her family had enslaved, and contacted Betty in 2007. She is dedicated to helping others, European Americans and African Americans, together to uncover and explore the truth of their experiences and move towards racial reconciliation. Together, Ms. Kilby and Dr. Kilby Baldwin authored the book Cousins to share the story about their past and their path to reconciliation. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Kilby and Dr. Kilby Baldwin this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Did you hear that? That's another second going by, and that second is history. If you think about it, as every second, every minute, every day goes by, we have participated in history. When I was at Bryn Mawr and taking history class, I thought history was just what I read about in books. It was about important people participating in big events. But me, my family, we were just regular people living in Baltimore, going to school, going to work, eating dinner. But then, about 15 years ago, I met some people who were doing research into their families and finding out interesting things about their family's history, including about their role in slavery. I guess most of you know that in colonial America and during the first 90 years or so of our country's history as the United States, people, almost all white people, were allowed to hold others, mostly black people, in slavery. Slaves had to work for their masters without being paid and had no freedom to leave the farm or house where they worked. Most slave children were prevented from learning to read or write. There were no schools for them. So I decided to look into this. Did my family own slaves? I knew my father's family had owned farms in Virginia, not too far from the plantations of George Washington and James Madison. I decided to travel to the county in Virginia where my father's family was from and visit the local historical society. They gave me some tips on how to figure this out, starting with the U.S. Census and then going to the courthouse where I found other documents. I quickly found that my family did own slaves. Wow, how horrible. It was devastating to find this out, and they never said a word to me about it. The next thing I did was Google my last name, Kilby, and I came up with Betty's website. I could see that Betty was African American and born with the same last name. Could she be descended from people my family enslaved? She had written a book, Wit, Will, and Walls. There were many clues in this book that we might be connected. For example, I learned that her father and mine had grown up on farms less than a mile apart. That seems significant. But I also learned that she and her family had been important in integrating the schools in Virginia. Integrating the schools meant bringing black and white children to attend the same school together. Can you believe that when Betty was growing up, black children and white children were prevented by law from going to the same schools in many parts of the U.S.? And black children were often denied access to a complete and good education in their separate schools. Their teachers tried hard, but were given only hand-me-down books and few school supplies. They had to teach in buildings that were often falling apart. I decided to contact Betty and to start a conversation about our families. I sent her an email on Martin Luther King Day, 2007. And she responded with an email inviting me to meet her and her family for dinner. Wow, I was excited.
When Phoebe emailed me, I was going around the country speaking to high school students, telling the story of how the governor of Virginia closed my high school to keep little black children out, even though there was a ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court that outlawed separate schools for black and white children. My brother was 13 at the time when he had to go to a boarding school 50 miles away. It took over an hour to get there, depending on when you went. He came home on weekends. The next year, both my brothers went to a high school 26 miles away. It still took them more than an hour to get there because there were a lot of stops to pick up other children. The old dilapidated bus often broke down. While there was a nice school right there, not 3 miles from us, for white children only. We took our local school board to court and won the right to go to that high school that was once for white children only. We were bullied, called names, picked on every day that we stepped into that school. It was hard to learn when others were so mean and nasty and ugly all the time. When Phoebe contacted me, I had overcome many obstacles. I had gone to college, eventually achieving to a master's degree level. I had come to terms with my ancestors being slaves. Therefore, when I received Phoebe's email, I was ready to talk about it. From what she wrote in her email, I know that we were connected. In my state of emotion and exciting about her email, I invited Phoebe to a celebration dinner and the premiere of the documentary film for my book about integrating my high school. I forgot to tell my family who I had invited to dinner. I called them at the last minute, one by one. A few of the members of my family decided not to come to the dinner. The ones that came were polite, but asked many questions like, "What are you looking for? How long are you going to hang around? Where's my 40 acres and a mule?" What that last question was about, well, at the end of the Civil War, when all slaves were free, they were told that they would get 40 acres and a mule to help them to get started in life. But these things never came into fruition. While some family members were not sure about Phoebe and why she was here, my daughters, who had had a different kind of upbringing, were nice because I taught them to treat everybody the way that they wanted to be treated. At the premiere of the documentary, I introduced Phoebe and her sister. I told the audience, "Tonight, we are living Dr. Martin Luther King's dream that the sons and daughters of former slaves and former slave owners will be able to sit down at the table of brotherhood." And for us, that meant sisterhood. It was indeed a night to remember. However, it was only the beginning of a great friendship and kinship.
Meeting Betty made me want to examine Bryn Mawr's history. Did you know that Bryn Mawr used to only let white girls attend? When I came here in 1956, there were only white girls. But then, when I was in 10th grade in 1967, 11 years later, 2 black girls were admitted to my class. I don't remember anyone acting hostile or mean to Marcia and Darlene, but I don't think we were entirely friendly or understanding of what it must have been like for them. I guess you could say we were part of Bryn Mawr's and Maryland's history of school and integration. For what we did was not quite right. But thinking about this, and after meeting Betty in 2007, and I'm getting to know her and to her family, I began to think I should try to make amends for my family's having enslaved hers. But not just that. I needed to do something to repair the harms to black people that my family had committed ever since slavery. For example, my father, a doctor here in Baltimore, once had separate waiting rooms in his office for black people and white people. So you see, it was not just the slavery period, it's everything since. And I also am not blameless. I picked up racism from my family and the society around me. So as I began to think about it, repairing the harms, and I'm talking about reparations, I wanted to do something. So I talked to Betty and her family, and since they had sacrificed so much to get an education, I thought, wonder if I could set up a scholarship fund to benefit descendants of people my family enslaved as a form of reparations. And that's what I did in consultation with Betty and her family. 3 of Betty's grandchildren received scholarships this fall to go to college. I guess you could say the scholarship fund is changing the educational history for Betty's family.
You are a part of Bryn Mawr's history today. You can make it a positive history. Phoebe and I hope that you will always make Bryn Mawr a welcoming place for all children. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Baldwin and Ms. Kilby. Those were inspiring historical minutes here on this campus, and we are grateful to have you here. For those of you who would like to learn more, there is a video from last night's book talk that you might be very interested in. Well, now Associate Head of School, Elaine Swiren, and I have the pleasure of presenting awards to our faculty and staff who have made important contributions to our school community. Come on up.
Good afternoon. First, I'd like to recognize faculty who are serving as chairs awarded in previous years. Please stand when I call your name. The Nancy L.R. Booker 31 Master Teaching Chair, Megan McMahon. The Julia Clayton Baker Chair in Environmental Stewardship, Brett McMillan. The Cynthia Labaudiere Teachership, Ciara Green. And the Elizabeth Sheridan Sinclair Chair in the Fine and Performing Arts, Mary Mulai. We thank you for your ongoing service and dedication to Bryn Mawr students. And now on to this year's awards. The Alumni STEM Chair was established in honor of the distinguished women scientists who began their education at this independent school and is to be awarded to a member of one of the STEM disciplines. The recipient, who holds the chair for 2 years, is selected by the head in consultation with the division directors. This teacher offers math classes in every level of the upper school curriculum. During the school year, much of his energy is focused on foundational geometry classes with freshmen and sophomores, while also teaching older students in both calculus and AP statistics. This last subject is one of the teacher's greatest passions. He's also been an outstanding contributor to the summer session program, twice serving as co-teacher of the advanced functions in trigonometry class that has become one of the program's most popular offerings. Outside of class, this teacher is the devoted and enthusiastic coach of the golf and robotics teams, keeping the whole community up to date on competitions and successes for both teams. Ever the Renaissance man, this teacher is also the drummer for the faculty band, Edith Jamilton, and is no doubt preparing to perform even as we speak. Congratulations to Frank Eckert. The Apgar Award for Teaching Excellence recognizes a teacher who has made a significant difference in students' lives by motivating students' interests, curiosity, and love of learning, applying new teaching concepts and methods that expand students' horizons and potential, and by serving as a mentor to stimulate students' intellectual development beyond the curriculum and the classroom. This year's Apgar Award recipient joined the Bryn Mawr faculty in 2018 and hit the ground running. Working to align curriculum with national standards, this teacher is all about hands-on learning and experimentation. Whether his students are growing Wisconsin fast plants under different conditions, designing circuitry to put lights in a dollhouse room, or measuring the density of various liquids, everyone is a scientist in his class. This teacher is committed to his students in and out of the classroom, focusing on DEI efforts and working each day to make sure all of his students know that they are integral parts of our community. Congratulations to Noah Robinson. On the occasion of former headmistress Mrs. Stambon's departure from the Bryn Mawr School, the Board of Trustees created the Blair D. Stambon Award to be given annually to a member of the faculty or staff who has contributed the most to the overall welfare and well-being of the school community. It is difficult to believe that this faculty member is only beginning her 4th year working at Bryn Mawr. She is a tireless contributor to everything that she touches. This person possesses an extraordinary combination of unparalleled organizational skills and deep personal empathy so that every program she works on becomes better because of her leadership and involvement. The list of those programs is long. Upper school retreats, dances, clubs, the advisory program, all student activities, sponsorship of the Student Government Association, to name a very few. She is a sought-after collaborator. In her work with the Chief Advising Team, this person has sought to streamline and clarify the responsibilities of Chief Advisors, making the role more focused and manageable. She has toys in her office, gives directions to the lost and advice to the confused, distributes art supplies on demand, dries tears, administers discipline, gives away junk food, and offers wonderful convocation announcements on stuff you should know. She makes Bryn Mawr look good in all that we do, which is understandable since she is a class of 2002 alum. Congratulations to Emily Fetting. The Blanche and A.V. Williams Master Teaching Chair was established by Jenny Lee Williams Folks, class of 65, in memory of her parents, who had abiding respect and admiration for the teaching profession. The chair is awarded to an outstanding teacher in any division or department. This teacher joined the Bryn Mawr Little School faculty in 2003 and comes to school every day with positive energy and a smile on her face. She seamlessly creates a warm, safe, and affirming learning environment that encourages exploration, risk-taking, and communication while honoring each child's individual personality and needs. Her patience and calm demeanor help reassure her students as they begin to learn words and effectively express themselves. She uses a variety of skills to build positive relationships with all of her students. This teacher has also supported the larger Bryn Mawr community as a faculty representative to the Board of Trustees for the past 2 years. Congratulations to Kendra Jordan. The Ella Spear Calhoun and Elizabeth Atkinson Reynolds Fund recognizes teachers who make significant contributions to the school outside the classroom. The concept of the fund recognizes a quality that typifies independent school teaching at its best, a dedication to young people as whole human beings beyond the limited scope and measurements of classroom performance. This year's recipient most definitely makes contributions outside of the classroom. Her job not only has her working with and coaching students in lower and middle schools, but she's also here in the summer leading Bryn Mawr's middle grades partnership program with Cross Country Elementary Middle School. She was recently named a DEI liaison for her division and chairs her division's DEI committee. In her 5 years at Bryn Mawr, she has made a significant impact on her curriculum and her students. Known for teaching line dances on the field and kickboxing in class, this faculty member promotes strong young women to achieve at their best. Congratulations to Monisha Davis. The Millicent Carey McIntosh Chair in the Humanities honors a member of the faculty whose teaching abilities, distinction in his or her field, and concern for the special educational needs of girls reflect the tradition of Millicent Carey McIntosh. This year's recipient has been at Bryn Mawr since 2005. Although she arrived bilingual, she has since become trilingual and uses all of those languages in her work here. Often associated with her good friend Emmeline, a French-speaking snail, this year's recipient incorporates props, picture symbols, and fun activities to her world language classroom every day. She was an integral part of redesigning the world language program so that each student can choose to study French or Spanish in the lower school. Congratulations to Elizabeth Duzant. The Patricia A. Deter Staff Award is presented to a member of the staff who has demonstrated outstanding loyalty, dedication, and hard work in support of the well-being of the school. This individual has an exceedingly deep knowledge of our community by nature of her intense love of and loyalty to her alma mater. She has tried to leave multiple times, but simply comes back, often in a new role, and always saves the day. Administrative assistant is not an accurate title for this superwoman, who can just as easily be seen setting up a complicated event as she might be comforting a crying child or sewing the most amazing masks for a grateful colleague. She knows almost everyone in the entire community, and she anticipates needs and conflicts before anyone has even noticed them. She takes responsibility for the experience of each parent, student, and staff member in our school. She knows she can be the change for kindness, for justice, for joy each day. And she is a true Bryn Mawr gem. Congratulations to Julia Bielefeld. The Robert G. Merrick Senior Chair in History was initiated by Mr. Merrick, one of Baltimore's leading philanthropists, before his death in 1986. It's funded by the Jacob and Anita France Foundation. Mr. Merrick's personal interest in history, as well as his family's history at the Bryn Mawr School, are represented in the creation of this endowed fund. This Master Teaching Chair honors faculty members who are distinguished in their profession and whose record of service is outstanding. This distinguished teacher has taught a wide range of courses in the upper school history department: Foundations of History, Modern World History, and U.S. History, to name the basics. And she is known for her tireless willingness to meet with students outside of class to ensure their understanding and success. Her greatest passion is for civics education, however, and she ensures that all students and faculty have their own personal copies of the United States Constitution, distributed at the Constitution Day celebration that she leads each fall. Trained as a lawyer, this teacher supports student clubs that develop debate skills and respectful intellectual jousting. She has sponsored its academic mock trial in every single political philosophy club that exists in the upper school, including Young Republicans, Young Democrats, and Bryn Marxists. Outside these former roles, this teacher is a devoted colleague and community member. She annually organizes a faculty pie baking contest, a chili cook-off, and all manner of Name That Tune tribute experiences. Congratulations to Karen Cullen. The 3745 Award is presented in honor of the faculty, administration, and staff who worked at Bryn Mawr during the years from 1937 to 1945. The award is given to a community member who has served the school with distinction. Dependable, consistent, talented, creative, passionate, caring, and humble are just a few words to describe this year's 3745 Award recipient. Her steadfast dedication to the little school's students, families, and faculty can be witnessed each morning as she begins the school day greeting families and taking children's temperatures. She easily thinks through details with a critical eye and focuses on what matters most. She takes care of all day-to-day tasks with grace and creativity. Her talents, natural people skills, and knowledge of everything Bryn Mawr related make her the pulse and lifeblood of the little school. She intuitively knows what is needed before anyone even has a chance to ask. She is the engine that keeps everything running smoothly. Congratulations to Ji-Ho Kim. Congratulations. Congratulations again to all our award winners.
It's a tradition on Founders Day to also recognize members of our community for achieving significant milestones in their service to Bryn Mawr. We do this at the beginning of the school year so that we can properly inaugurate your special year of celebration. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your award. 5 years of service. Katie Beck, Deanna Boyd, Monisha Davis, Ryan Fingles, Sasha Klavitska, Megan Knobb, Sandy McCain, Ann O'Brien, Diana Park, Amy Robinson, and Lori Venice.
We have one more 5-year award winner, and that would be Sue Sadler, our fearless leader.
Thank you very much. On behalf of all the 5-year cohort. It was a really good group that year. All right, the 10-year cohort. Rebecca Bark, Monia Sheikh, Leslie Feinberg, Lakia Gary, Amanda Meckumber, Laura Peters, Kim Riley, and Georgia Summers. You are welcome. Of course. 10 years, that's a whole decade. Who's 10 years old in this audience? These people have been teaching here as long as you've been alive. All right, get ready, freshmen, because here come the 15-year cohort. Dave Alexander, Jess Bolt, Catherine Gilbert, Emily Letras, Ann Puckett, Monica Ozuna, Tina Veprick, and Rebecca Wish. All right, this next group, it's 20 years. That's older than most of you. That's longer than most of you here. Well, the young people in the audience. All righty, for 20 years we have Jennifer Aragoncia. Kate Brendler. Christine Rogers. And although she is not here this afternoon, Diane DeSantis is also celebrating her 20th anniversary here at the school. This next group's been around for 25 years. Oh, I know, almost as old as me. No, not even close. Gina Canestraro. Jim Grinnell. And Maggie Soros. Years. I know they're holding their hearts over there. Look at that. Steve Amon. Denise Green. And Hunter Hanley. Okay, celebrating his 35th anniversary is Mr. Dave Stevens. All right, get ready for the screaming people, because celebrating her 40th anniversary at the Bryn Mawr School is Mary Daly Lacey. I also want to acknowledge a few other people who are celebrating milestones and are not with us today. Mary Clunan is celebrating her 5th year as the ceramics teacher and art teacher in the upper school. Courtney Watkins is on her 10th year of college counseling here at Bryn Mawr. I mentioned Diane DeSantis, but didn't tell you that she was from the business office. Kim Dorsey, celebrating 30 years in the little school. And John Sapp, 30 years in the operations department. So congratulations to all of those wonderful people. You make this school the wonderful school that it is, and I appreciate everything that you do for Bryn Mawr. So before we dismiss, I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. Members of our Board of Trustees, our special guests, and our faculty, students, and staff. Because Founders Day celebrates Bryn Mawr's birthday, we celebrated this afternoon with cupcakes and treats. I hope you enjoyed them. And this afternoon, we will be listening to Edith Jamilton down in the bottom of Gordon Field this year, something new and different. So that's what we're doing from now till the end of the day. Our faculty and staff award recipients are invited, and their special guests, of whom there are many, are invited to a reception outside of the admissions cottage over here. To all of our students gathered today, I hope that years from now you will remember these school traditions. These moments celebrating together as a whole school, almost a whole school, we are missing the K through 2 today. And you're a part of this extraordinary institution created by women and led by women throughout the school's 137 years. Remember that you're also a part of this school's history. Bryn Mawr is made up of the best of each of us every single day. As we conclude our program today with our tradition, Jerusalem, I invite Desai to please come forward. After Desai, I ask you to remain seated until we dismiss our seniors, class of 22. Thank you, Desai. Seniors, you are dismissed. Let's have one more round of applause for our award-winning faculty and staff up here on the stage. They're almost up. Okay, we're going to dismiss the lower school on the edges next. Mrs. Cornell, you can take the 5th grade too. Oh, maybe not. All right, everyone's dismissed. That's it. I gave him a 30-second head start.